Yesterday I did one of these, and as it turned out, I did some pounding on the Democratic Party. I didn't intend to do that, but it came out that way, starting from my feelings about a piece of advice given by then Senator John Kennedy to a young girl who was running for student council in high school. Anyway, the result was that I did wail away at the Democratic Party for what is known as their liberalism, and so, as they say, in the interest of fairness and a balanced approach, I thought I should take some swings at the Republicans who, in their own way, are equally reprehensible. Their party was founded in 1854, and they're known as the Grand Old Party, the GOP, and the party of Lincoln, their first elected president. They began as an anti-slavery and pro-union party, and they are known today, in contrast to the Democrats, as the Conservative Party. Some of them are staunchly conservative, and others are what they call ultra-conservative or bedrock Republicans, which I think is what the recent so-called Tea Party Republicans were all about. They are the party in power at the moment, with the president and both wings of the legislature, the House and Senate, and they have a majority in the number of governors too. That doesn't happen very often, which means we're living in strange times. Most people would say that it is a backlash, a swing of the pendulum in reaction to 8 years of very liberal democratic rule. Conservative is not so easy to define, not precisely. It does mean some sense of economic thrift, living within a budget, or at least acknowledging that such a budget should exist, even if it's impossible to meet its terms. Conservative can also mean a desire to resist change, to keep things as they are, the status quo, or even to attempt to return, this is where the Tea Party comes in, to a previous and presumably golden age, before everyone lost their minds and thought government should be huge and in charge of taking care of everyone in need. Republicans are all for less government and fewer welfare programs. Get 'em off the federal tit, they cry. They are charged with being cold and heartless, and they respond by calling those who oppose them freeloaders, mooches, loafers, goof-offs, losers, criminals, and cheats. Thus the country separates into the haves and the have-nots, the rich pricks and the poor bastards, and there is little but bitterness between them. Republicans glorify ambition, the worth ethic, and pluck, the very qualities, they say, that made this a great nation. They think unemployment benefits are a scam, Section 8 housing is a disaster, free health care a bad joke. They deeply resent having to pay for programs like those, while the ones who benefit contribute nothing. Calls for a socialist approach signal the end of the great American experiment, they say. Republicans proudly are the fat cats. They cherish the engine of capitalism. They think that the 1% of the 1% who run everything in what is really a thinly veiled plutocracy earned everything they have. They say that this is the land of opportunity, not entitlement, of freedom, not handouts, of true and patriotic citizens, not illegal immigrants. They are all for strong and vigilant military because we have to protect the huge advantages we possess. They look upon Ronald Reagan as a great man, the finest example this nation could produce, even though he was nothing more than an actor who could deliver a rousing speech espousing abstract principles of liberty, free enterprise, and national character, while in practice bankrupting California as governor and the United States as president. Republicans believe that they are better people than the ones who oppose them, and they think they deserve the material benefits they enjoy. They look upon Democratic voters with dismay and contempt, and they see Democratic office holders as hypocrites who amass fortunes even as they coddle the poor in exchange for their support. The difference between the two parties is no longer one of principle, it's personal. The two parties are so sharply and deeply divided that it appears we will be living from one extreme to another, a wild ride that can only end with a crash.